A slow road shot tracks the truck's side, camera locked on papayas vibrating gently in stacked crates.
Papayas spill onto a wide conveyor in a smooth wave, then settle into a single moving layer.
B1. First rinse begins under spray bars, water sheeting over papaya skins and beating along curves. The fruit dominates the
Brush rollers sweep papaya surfaces, bristles whispering while water runs in thin lines. Papayas stay large and vivid for soft dried papaya.
Vertically. A second wash tunnel uses finer mist. May here sparkle with uniform droplets.
LED inspection lights reveal subtle bruises and color shifts, papayas filling most of the image.
A final purified rinse curtain falls, water forming smooth sheets over papaya skins. Cleanliness repeats for soft dried papaya.
A soft brush pass polishes skins, reflections sliding across curves as belts move slowly.
B1. First peeling station. Blades catch the papaya skin and lift long ribbons away while orange flesh appears.
Purified rinse washes peeled papayas, water glazing the orange surfaces and highlighting smooth flesh. The fruit remains central for soft dried papaya.
Deseeding begins as papayas are split lengthwise, black seeds briefly visible in glossy clusters.
Macro on seed cavity. Black seeds glisten like beads against orange flesh, then a tool scoops them out cleanly. The fruit remains dominant for soft dried papaya. A gentle water spray flushes remaining seeds, orange cavities shining under soft light. Rinse channel carries split papaya halves, cavities facing up so the viewer sees the cleaned interior. The fruit remains the hero for soft-dried papaya.
Halves pass through a trimming station where edges are squared, orange flesh filling the frame. Precision cutting prepares for soft-dried papaya.
The line switches to strip cutting, producing long orange batons that land in parallel rows. The repeating geometry supports soft-dried papaya.
A vibrating feeder spread papaya strips into a single layer, so none over layer.
A second slicer creates thinner strips, edges slightly translucent as light passes through. The camera stays tight on papaya for soft-dried papaya.
B1. Crosscut mode makes small papaya chunks, cubes tumbling gently into a tray while staying fully visible. The pieces are unmistakably for soft-dried papaya.
Knives remove excess water, leaving papaya surfaces glossy, but not dripping. The orange pieces keep moving towards soft-dried papaya.
A second wash on cut pieces uses a gentle spray, removing stray seed residue while keeping papaya centered.
Grain belt after dip shows papaya strips gleaming, droplets falling through mesh in steady rhythm. The fruit remains the hero for soft-dried papaya.
A sensor checks strip thickness, but the camera keeps papaya strips filling the frame. The line stays fruit first for soft-dried papaya.
Another cutting variation creates wider ribbons, each ribbon curling slightly as it lands. The pieces remain clearly papaya for soft-dried papaya.
A vibratory spreader re-levels papaya strips, forming precise lanes with consistent spacing.
Air-dry tunnel removes surface moisture, leaving papaya pieces with a clean satin sheen. The orange pieces continue towards soft-dried papaya.
Macro on tray corners shows papaya strips resting on mesh, moisture collecting briefly then dripping through. The fruit stays dominant for soft-dried papaya. Trays slide onto a rack, layers of papaya strips stacked with visible spacing between each tier.
The drum releases papaya strips back onto belt in a smooth cascade, pieces landing in aligned lanes.
Air knives sweep again, leaving papaya pieces clean and uniformly moist for sweetening. The orange texture stays centered for soft, dried papaya.
An East Asian female worker's hands gently separate two stuck strips, restoring even spacing on the belt.
Macro on cut surface shows fine fibers and tiny juice beads that slowly merge and slide. The fruit remains central for soft, dried papaya.
A gentle tumble infusion drum papaya stress through syrup, coating evenly without tearing. Close-up of papaya strips exiting the drum shows thicker shine and slightly deeper orange tone. The pieces look sweeter on the way to soft dried papaya.
V2, papaya strips are spread again into a single layer on a wide mesh belt, no overlap allowed. The orange field prepares for drying the soft dried papaya.
Mid-dryer macro captures tiny bubbles of syrup releasing and collapsing on the surface as moisture leaves. The fruit stays dominant for soft-dried papaya.
A second drying zone increases airflow, papaya strips lifting minutely, then laying back, still aligned.
A gentle flip mechanism turns strips once so both sides dry evenly, keeping papaya always visible.
A second warm tunnel sets the sugar layer, papaya strips shimmering briefly then turning satin. The fruit remains dominant for soft-dried papaya.
Macro on edges shows slight curling and thickened flesh, indicating moisture reduction without hardening. The look matches soft-dried papaya,
A gentle tumble stage loosens strips so none stick together, pieces sliding softly over stainless.
Rain and cool conveyor shows papaya strips settling into evenly spaced lanes, surface now chewy looking. The transformation nears soft dried papaya.
A humidity-controlled chamber equalizes moisture, papaya strips resting on racks with subtle surface sheen. Macro shows tiny surface pores and faint fibers, now tighter and more elastic as syrup sets. The texture reads soft dried papaya in progress.
A second gentle bend test flexes a strip into a U shape, then it slowly rebounds, proving softness.
B2. An airflow curtain cools strips further, sheen stabilizing into a clean satin finish. The fruit stays centered for soft dried papaya.
A tumbling drum gently separates chunks, preventing clumps while keeping every piece visible. The motion is calm for soft-dried papaya.
The fruit remains dominant for soft-dried papaya.
B2, a brief steamless warm zone finishes moisture removal, surface becoming less wet and more leathery chewy. The change supports soft-dried papaya.
Macro on a strip shows sticky shine replaced by a balanced satin glow, with slight tack still visible at touch points. The target texture is soft dried papaya.
A final setting belt aligns strips into tight B lanes, edges curled uniformly, and thickness consistent.
B2. Cooling rack pass shows strips resting briefly, airflow whispering through layers to lock in chewiness. The fruit stays visible for soft dried papaya.
A final humidity elation tunnel keeps pieces pliable, not brittle, under controlled airflow.